What's good, people? We are live. That's right, on my YouTube, on the You of the Tuba. This is the Option Podcast. This is episode 257. That guy looks like Bryce Mayer, except he got a little mustache like rocking. Must be a Tyler Penberthy thing. We're going to find out. Buckle up, people. The episode starts right now. Let's go, Bryce.
What's going on?
Listen, I don't know, maybe 35,000 subscribers, and many of them have asked and they've asked and they've asked, and he's finally here, people, because I've got to give the people. I'll give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Bryce Mayer's in the
Get
house.
it, Jay.
Option episode 257. He's like, you sound like you're calling a match, Jay.
I love it, dude. I love it. The more flavor, the better, baby.
Yeah, man. Santa Cruz love here, San Diego love here. Bryce Mayer in the house, my friend. And it's so cool because I feel like I'm on a banana slug month rally, right? I had Rowdy Lennon who came on
Yeah.
the podcast. He was fun, and then a couple of weeks later, he was banging it out in Manhattan Beach, California,
Yes, sir.
as you were as well, right?
Yes, sir. Go slugs, baby. No known predators.
That's right. I had Tyler. Actually, I had Todd Hollenbeck. I think when you
Yeah.
played, he was the coach after you, right?
No, so I actually played under him for 2 years. I was with Jonah Carson for 2 years, and then Todd took over my junior year. So I was with Todd a little bit.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like Todd. Todd, I nicknamed C Jesus. He was like this hairy guy. He right. He dressed like a hobo and, and had the beard. And he was 2015 Coach of the Year too, I believe. When Santa Cruz had this fantastic 23-5 record or something like that, and then
He's awesome.
then went to what SC, and then was at Menlo, and now he's I don't know.
Is he still at Menlo? I'm not
Yep,
sure. I'm
yeah.
not sure, but yeah, he was awesome. Him and both Jonah. I had a great experience in college, and we had some stud muffins come through that program, man.
Yeah.
So I got to play with Jake Landell a little bit. Dietrich was there. My buddy Paul Leone,
That's the
Sal
original
Rivera.
Jesus.
Who's that?
Dietrich.
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes,
okay.
sir. And so yeah, that was a fun time, man. Great time, an absolute grind, especially like I was studying biochemistry and molecular biology at the time. So I feel like college was just like a blur, but Todd was cool and also had a great experience with Jonah Carson as well.
Nice. Hey, we can definitely delve into the past. I'm going to start present tense, but I wanted to give a shout out to everybody who and from the East Coast in whom this face seems familiar, right? Seguil Sanchez, Ivan, Pablo Oliveira. He looks
Yeah.
familiar because you played against him. It's when he played for Santa Cruz, 2010. There was a total of 9 sets, and you guys split the difference, and that was pretty cool. Shout out
Oh,
Justin Stack. Played college ball with him in Hunter. Allison Stack, of course, his wife, a shrewd recruiter, and yeah, and it's a very very small world, isn't it?
oh yeah. And we'd always make those trips to the East Coast. We loved it, man. We'd
Yeah, Springfield was a
oh yeah.
yeah. Springfield
Springfield.
was like Springfield was like the you guys are Division 3, but you played and trained like a Division 1 program because your strength of schedule, right? I mean,
Yeah, we were fortunate we got to play like Stanford and Pacific when they had a squad, and we'd go down south, play Santa Barbara once in a while. So we were fortunate to get some cool competitive reps, and then yeah, go out and play some D3 schools who were also super competitive when I was going to school. So I'm not as tapped into the indoor scene now. I'm kind of all beach, but it was a fun run back then.
yeah, there's something about this side of the country that makes you just say, forget it. Right. I moved here 10 years ago. I was a pure indoor coach, and that was my intention. But all of the opportunities were beach, and God bless, just like you were blessed to have surrounded by people who can mentor us. We're people who we now teach. You know what I'm saying? And now a lot of the people that mentored us, they're shooting ideas from us, because there's something there. Like right now, you're coaching Coast, right?
Hmm.
And there's something there in a sense where you it's not just your playing experience and what you learn from people. It's about putting together what people taught you and being able to communicate that successfully to your the next, I guess, the next one's up. Is there something you'd like to add to that before I talk about Manhattan Beach?
No, yeah, I mean, you nailed it. It's so fun. I get to coach youth athletes and adult athletes, and not only is that so rewarding, but also just my coaching staff is so cool and learning from my coaches, their styles of coaching. One of my best buddies, Victor, he actually went down to Brazil with Tyler and I earlier this year and coached us up. But being around other coaches and other like-minded individuals is so rewarding, and it's just a pleasure to be around people like that and in that world. So it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Forget Manhattan Beach for now. Let's talk a little bit about coaching. Let's jump to the junior scene for a little bit. You're a coach at Coast, right? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm the beach director at Coast. I've been there for about 7.5 years now.
Yep. And you know what? I remember they were more popular for their indoor program, but now they're doing really, really good things on the beach. And I was at the tail end of Endless Summer when Coast started their thing. And I was like,
Hmm.
wait, is that West Coast? You're like, no, that's Aaron Wexler, right? And that's Santa Monica. But what's you come in the Coast, right? And you have this group of coaches with some good ideas. Walk me through the process of just coming with the idea, recruiting kids, reaching out to community and parents and say, hey, we got something going here, and how you started and how it grew. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing is it was already established before I came. So Derek Olson, who shout out to Derek, coached at Cal, was at UW, just got hired at USD, which we're super stoked to have him down here as the head coach. He was there a couple of years before I was, and then Maho, who was coaching at TCU, was there for a short period, about a year before I was.
Right.
So there was an established community and an established, we have 3 courts there. And then when I got in there, I kind of ramped it up a little bit, built out a really cool, amazing coaching staff, and then kind of expanded into younger age groups. Now we've got kiddos down to 9, kiddos up to, 17. And we've got a little bit more of a variety for adults too, anywhere from beginners to adults. So luckily enough, I didn't have to do too much recruiting to get people to come to us. Naturally, some of the kiddos that were playing indoor would reach out and want to get beach reps, and then maybe they'd bring a friend. And we kind of just kind of grow it naturally. I'm not doing too much, marketing or getting out in the community trying to pull people to us. So we have a really cool, reputation, word of mouth. And then on the adult side of things, people just love to come get their workout and get coached by some cool kind of aspiring and current professionals um and this just kind of get after it.
Who do you have on the pro scene that kind of likes make that kind of makes I guess these cameo appearances? Like who's out in the San Diego area now? I know Derek Olson's back, and
Yeah, Dio's back.
yeah,
So yeah, he's gonna be with USD. On our squad, so my buddy Victor, he's not playing as much, but he was coaching with Alex and April a little bit, going up there with Raphael Asfalinsky, who's coached with us a little bit. He's now with UCSD. My buddy Kyle Merchant, who you might know the last name Merchant, his brother Lake played at Santa Cruz, but Kyle's just an absolute freak. Like, in my opinion, could be top 10 main drag guys of all time. Um, he's got it all. So he's not, on the tour, but he's kind of an aspiring guy that could be there if he wanted it. On the ladies' side, we've got Sid Stevens, who went to Long Beach State. She's kind of doing some pursuit of AVP, who's going to be really good. Rayanne Greisen, who played at Cal Poly, played a little overseas, could, probably be main draw if she wanted to, but she's working on her naturopathic doctor degree.
man, that's
Uh,
God. That's God's work, dude.
it is.
Naturopathic medicine is, dude. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
yeah, we don't have too many kind of, people who are on the tour actively kind of touring and competing, but we just have a ton of, former college and current aspiring coaches who just have some of the best energy. Griffin Cook, Abby Schimmel,
Who
Caitlin
else?
Aslinski.
Caitlin.
We just got a fun squad.
Caitlin. Yep. All right. Yeah. She doesn't know me, but I know her because I keep an eye out on coaches. And I am a very weird individual because I don't measure coaching success by people's playing success. I am a hater by nature, so I'm very grounded and honest and players really get insulted by that. They're like, "Well, I can definitely talk about the game if I play it," and I'm like, "No, you can't," because they're two different occupations, right? This is
Oh yeah.
why there are some people who've never played volleyball in their life are better coaches than you because their communication skills are better, though. They have to study the game long. If they haven't played the game, they definitely have to study the game longer. Because like Chuck Daly, right? Detroit Pistons coach.
Yeah.
Dude had to study the game, but his ability to deal with strong personalities was the key to his success, right? Like,
Oh,
how do you
absolutely.
control Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, Rodman, right? Bill Lambier, right? I mean, people waiting in the parking lot ready to try to unalive that guy. So, yeah, or let's go Springfield, Charlie Sullivan, right? Dude's a lacrosse,
Absolutely.
dude's a lacrosse
Yeah.
player,
Yeah.
right?
For sure. Yeah. Some people just have that coaching mentality and kind of manage the team and have a vision. And
Yeah.
that's a great example right there, though, for sure.
Yeah. Also, are you a winner, right? Before Jose Loyola really got into this coaching thing, right? I remember he was coaching Reed Pritty and Trevor Crabb. Now, I personally, I didn't think he was like a real coach, but I knew he was a winner.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, you don't need someone there to teach you how to bump, right? You need someone to say, okay, you guys are splitting block, but this is match point. No, Reed, it's you, right? Because he knows it when he sees it, and yeah, there are coaches like that are just winners. Jeff Alzina is a winner, right?
Hmm.
Though he has an extensive playing background. Who else? Pompeo Mercadante, right? Who was Trevor and Theo's coach, the heavyset guy,
Oh,
round
yeah,
guy
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
He's all about those drills. He's definitely drills and skills mixed together. And him,
Yeah.
Leandro,
One of
like all
my,
of those
that's a
guys
good
came in
note.
California together. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say on that note, one of my buddies is training with him right now up in Utah, and yeah, he's all about just hammering those Brazilian drills, and
Yeah,
there's just so many different ways to do it. But at the end of the day, like you said, you got to have that winning mentality. How can we get the job done? Doesn't that might not have or it might not be pretty, might not be the perfect way to do it, but if you
right.
can find a way to win, that's what matters.
You're right. Because look, when I coach in the summer, we would have competition Thursdays, and a lot of the kids would take what they learn or whatever. And sometimes we'll throw a caveat in, like you get 2 points if you option this. Like someone will
Mhm.
scream bonus, like everyone will just scream bonus, right? And you
Yeah.
get two, and they're like shishing. And I remember some matches like Pompeo is coaching the older age group, and you have Jeff Samuels, who's part of our coaching staff, coaching like 14s against like
Mhm.
17s, and Jeff that begins Jeff's team would beat him 2-0, you know. But the
That's funny.
genius of Pompeo is he diagnosed the players first before he comes up with the drill. He doesn't just come up with a one size fits all thing. Like if he's coaching you and me and he knows like I'm left-handed and he knows I'm right shoulder weak, like I'm one of those guys that like I face when I'm going left, but I kind of do this when I'm on my right. Like, look where my forearms
Yeah.
are right now, right? Where's that ball gonna go, right? It's gonna probably, like, I got mad skill. It'll go back to the target, but I also invited it. I
Of course.
invited it to do other things. Like, if Pompeo knows that, he's gonna have a drill that's for that. So,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
that's where the years and years of experience come in. And who are the old dogs in your crew? Who are the older people? Kids
Oh
got kids
man,
got to look. Kids
so
got to show respect. So I know you got to have some older people there.
yeah, yeah. So on the coaching side, not honestly, I might be the oldest coach, but on the players side down in San Diego, we've got some studs. We've got Paul Lottie down here, Will Price, who hasn't played as much, but he was on the national team indoor a little bit.
Hmm.
And then Stafford Slicks down here, not playing as much, coaching a little bit. We got Matt Olson up at Wave.
Maddie's
Uh,
awesome.
but on my coaching staff, um, we got some young guns. I'm probably the oldest one on the staff
This
right
is why
now.
you grew facial hair.
You got to keep the stash strong. It's funny you
Yes.
say that though, yeah, because Tyler and I, whenever we're playing, he always shoots me a text like, "We're going stash, right?" And it's like, no question, dude. You got to go stash.
Yeah, just don't be asking me the night before, man, because I'm gonna have to like literally wear a stash instead of like bring a stash. Yeah, Mhm.
Same for my brother-in-law, John Ferrari, which I think you're familiar with. He always rocks the stash, and whenever we used to play a lot together, and it's the more stash, the better, and
Yeah.
the more power you're able to generate on your swing, with the thicker your stash is.
I like that you brought up John Ferrari because I watched him play here and there, and he was never on my radar. But in New Orleans, 2021, he played with Andrew Dentler, right?
Hmm.
And he goes all the way to the semis, and he winds up against Corey and Logan, and it's a third set, and this is not exactly a home game for him, right? You're playing Evan Corey in Kenner, Louisiana, at Coconut Beach, right? You got fans taking a swipe at you on the switch offs, which by the way
Literally.
happens. And one of the fans tried to put hands on him, and he's just like,
Literally.
and John's loving it. I became a fan of him, a little bit of a fan for two reasons. One, he was very much like the heel in a WWE match, like Triple H, or like Shawn Michaels when he was a heel and he'd like look at the crowd like, "This is all you got? Is this the best you brought?" He just soaked it up. And from a skill perspective, I was just so impressed at his energy efficiency. I was so
He's the
impressed
best.
that he took this glide set, that little tempo set that he likes on the right
Oh
side,
yeah.
and just waits for the block to go by or pulls his trigger early. He's just got this mixture of,
He's
yeah,
He's the best, man. He's so good. Still is so good. Winning tournaments up in Colorado in the summer this year. And just in my opinion, one of the most entertaining dudes of all time. I'm so honored that I'm somewhat related to him. Oh, I am related to him, but not by blood, but by marriage. I married his sister. But he's the funniest, one of the most wittiest dudes you'll ever meet. And it is so darn fun playing with him. Like
yeah.
he always has something funny to say, whether it's to you or to the crowd. When we were younger, we balled a lot together and just split blocked. And he's just a stud. He's hilarious.
He's good for the sport too,
He
right?
is.
Look, there are some people because it's not manufactured. It's like the way he does it, it comes from an organic place. Like if you're an introvert, if you want to see fans, you have to be probably the best player in the tournament if you want fans to come to you. Like Phil's an introvert, but people followed him, right? Karch, who's God in our sport, is very introverted, and people followed him because
Yep.
there was something about his technique and his process and preparation that did the talking, right? But you got Casey, who could, if he played, if he unretired, everybody would be happy. You know what I'm saying? You have John Ferrari. You got Evan Corey's got a little bit of that too. He's he's
Oh
he's
yeah.
he's
Evan's got the
enigmatic.
swagger.
Field, right? Um, Field is a little bit out there lately, the last couple of years, but I've been following him since the qualifiers in
He's
2018.
definitely entertaining, man. And the more of that, the better for our sport.
Hmm.
I love it. And when we get to talking about Manhattan, I want to circle back to Casey Patterson because he kind of gave me some good fun words of wisdom a couple years ago. But all those guys are just, yeah, they're fun. We need more of that. It's entertaining to watch guys with energy who can talk smack or can look at the camera or can get the crowd involved. That's what it's all about.
Mm. Yeah, and it is my function. Sorry, Yankees lost, right? So guess what? That's the wife's team. My team, the wife's team. My team, the wife's team.
Oh, you're talking to like the biggest Padres fan of all time, so that hurts. It was a dagger this year, but that's okay.
Yeah,
2026.
yeah. And the Padres just keep coming, man. They really do. And I like what you said about KC because guys like him make my job easier. Like I'm a broadcaster and a coach, but I've been emceeing a couple of times this year. They put me on a stage a few times this year, put a microphone in my hand,
Heck yeah.
and you know what happened next. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Seaside is probably going to be a regular thing now. That was great.
One
Motherload
of the
I
best tourneys.
emceed. And Hawaii, Honolulu had 18 and unders versus the world for indoor. And
Nice.
I'm going to be doing that every June. So my listen, my talk a little bit about me first. My goal this year was to only go where I feel like I'm wanted because I have my own agenda and I have things that I want to do as part of my checklist to get to where I want to go. Um, but I do find myself lingering in places where I'm oblivious to where I'm wanted or not. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Because I like everybody. I talk to everybody. That's just how I am. I'm a kid from Brooklyn. But
absolutely.
I was like, my wife was like, stop. You don't know it. She was like, stop hanging out in places where you're not wanted. If you're not wanted, don't, you got better things to do. And she's right.
Life's too
And
short.
yeah, huh?
I said life's too short.
Yeah.
But can I ask you, you mentioned like where you want to go. What is your goal? Like where do you want to go? What's your kind of North Star?
Well, my purpose when I moved from New York to California was to coach and commentate, right? I moved. I'm 45 years old. I'm not playing anymore. Even though I did play the Manhattan Beach Open, uh, um, I played when I was 47. I just wanted to go get one before I was too old, right?
Yeah.
And also just to so people don't give me that gladiators in the arena bull crap. You know, oh, he's never been in there. Fine, I'm on the court, right? So, but
Heck yeah.
so my goal was to do that. My goal was to coach indoor. And I wanted to coach Division 1 or Division 2. It didn't matter. Just I can, if it was Banana Slugs, if it was USC, I knew I have this inherent belief in myself. We were gonna win because I've done more with less my whole career. That's been my jam. But that's changed because beach has become more intriguing to me. Beach has become more interesting. The players on the beach have picked up the phone and said yes, as far as the podcast is concerned. Broadcasting, I used to do broadcasting for the City University Championships every year, and I have a degree in theater performance, so I knew that the way I can convey that. So my goal was that. And you and I might go as far back as 2020, but I moved 2016. And what
Okay.
I did was, I don't know if you remember, I bought a camera, just a regular camcorder, and I started recording games, and just started
Yeah.
and just started chatting analytical, and everybody's like, "Oh man, that was brilliant." Some guys are like, "Oh my God, put this guy on mute." He's, but the thing was, people cared enough to post and cared enough to whatever, and I
And
stuck.
you were keeping score and everything, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that was great. That was
yeah. But
amazing.
that's how I built my brand. And then Casey
Yeah.
Jennings discovered me and said, "This guy's got, because I'll say testicular fortitude." Um, Also, John Mayer, I played against him in Mexico in an indoor player versus beach pros, like an exhibition match. And he
Nice.
told me if I ever moved to California, come work for him. So I was at LMU. I was his assistant at LMU for 2018, 2019.
Amazing.
Their first winning season, right? And then their first WCCs the year after. So John's a good reference to have, right? That other mayor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
The mayor.
it's a very long story, but I'll table this answer by saying this. I moved here to do color commentary and play by play, and I wanted to do it the right way, meritocracy driven. Whatever I got this year, I deserved. Motherload, I deserved. Seaside, I got an opportunity. Guess what? You can't imagine what the feedback was, right? Like Motherload, that's my fourth year in a row. I called the previous year with Randy Stokely,
Yep.
but that's my goal. That's my goal.
Got it.
I don't have a day job. I don't shear sheep. I don't practice law. I don't pluck chickens, milk cows, or teach school kids. This is all I do. I'm a podcaster and whatever. So, you know.
Amazing. I love it. Well, dude, you're on your way, and
Mm.
um, I'll definitely. The goal is to be up there again next year, Motherload with Ferrari. So
Let's
hopefully,
do it. Isn't that
hopefully
one
we
of the
can get
greatest
you up
places to
there.
play, dude? Isn't it
Like
magical?
it's like Disneyland, dude. You're like, where am I? It's crazy.
Exactly. Where you're like, is
Yeah.
this Switzerland?
John and I played last year. I wasn't able to play this year because it was right after my kid was born, but last year we went up and John and I camped up there. And it was just one of the best. I want to do it every year. It was so fun. Bring the kid up, let him cruise around town, let my wife, enjoy the town of Aspen, and we get a ball and just have a fun weekend.
It'll be a family tradition. It's my wife and kid came. I don't know if you've seen my kid. She's
No,
got
not
white
yet.
she's got white hair, and she's 7. She's like this tall, and we call my friends call her a Targaryen, or they call her Daenerys because the hair is not blonde. It's like, have you ever seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Targaryen. She's the
Oh
dragon lady.
yeah.
So
She's
yeah,
the
but
future, man.
yeah,
Let's get her playing as soon as possible.
future tennis is what she's gonna do. She ain't playing volleyball.
Yeah, get her in a sport with a little dinero, man. Tennis, golf, one of those two.
All right, we're on kids now. How old's your kid right now? They're probably 2 months.
Yeah, just about. He's actually going to be 8 weeks on Monday, so we're definitely in the trenches, but it's been so fun.
Did your friends tell you don't look down?
No, oh, when I got on my chest.
No, when the delivery.
Oh no, no,
All
they
of
did
my friends.
not.
Ooh, go ahead. I want your answer first.
Dude, I was front row center. I told the doctor I want to catch the baby and I want to cut the cord. So I kind of caught him, kind of fumbled him, a little bit of both. But I was right there, man. It was the full experience. It was amazing.
My friends. This is Justin Stack, Baruch College, right? Ken Bassarath, East Coast guy, right? They both told me, and they knew this was a rib. Whatever you do, just don't look down. And they got together on this, and they got me because when someone tells you don't look down, what do?
You got to do it.
You look down.
Yes, sir.
You ever seen Ghostbusters where they're like, "Don't look at the trap, don't look at the trap"? He's like, "I looked at the trap, Ray."
Oh,
You know that was, yeah. And I looked down,
absolutely.
and when that, let me tell you something. When that kid comes out and they put him on the mom, on the mom's chest, and the
Yeah,
kid's laying there. All we can do is just, as men and now fathers, is just sit there and look and stare. You can't stop staring.
oh my gosh.
And you feel
And
like the
in
kid
my
and you feel
in
like the
my
kid knows
case,
you're
crying.
staring. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You were
I
talking
said, yeah,
about
looking
crying?
at my case crying. I'm a crier, man. I'm not ashamed to say it.
I, however, am not, but I cry over dumb things, like before this podcast, I was looking for the iPad for the intro, this iPad for the intro, 20 minutes to find this thing. I literally started crying because I'm like, this is like 20 minutes of last minute
Oh,
research I could have got on Bryce, right? And I'm playing kids game with this or whatever, but I wanted to share that moment with kids and everybody who wants to have kids. As men, just do what people say. Get your catcher's mitt out if need be. And when the kid is born and they put the kid on the mom's chest, just do what every other self-respecting male does. Just look stupid and stare. It'll be the one time where the 7-second violation of staring is not an invasion of privacy. And
for
there's
sure,
this
man.
rapport where the kid's eyes are closed, but the kid feels you feel like the kid knows you're looking.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? You're gonna start crying right now, right? I'm gonna
Not
slap you.
yet, but
I'm gonna
you're taking
slap
me
you,
back to
man.
the delivery room, man.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
so special. It was so cool to be a part of that. Yeah, and just in
You're
awe after that, and just yeah, women are just amazing. Mamas are awesome, and my wife in particular is just the absolute best. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a special experience, no doubt.
You feel like your life changes forever or something in your life changes forever. And that's very, very true. Now, the best advice I can give you, and I'm sorry for everybody watching, we're talking about kids, they want to hear about volleyball, but the best advice I can give you from an old dog to a young dog is put yourself in a position where you're still Bryce and your wife, you just have a kid. Right,
Mhm.
that's good for healthy for your marriage. That's healthy for your kid. And one of the biggest compliments me and Kelly got is like you're still like the people that know us are like you're still Jason and Kelly. You just have a kid,
Yeah, no, that's
and
huge.
that's it. And that's it.
I appreciate that, and definitely we're kind of trying to take it on like that for sure. First couple months, the dude needs a lot of energy and attention, but we're definitely gonna try to keep living our own lives. I still want to compete, run our businesses and do our thing. And luckily, we have a lot of family support, but we're gonna try to just kind of take him along for the ride, bring him to Motherlode, bring him to Seaside, bring him to Manhattan
It's
Beach,
gonna
do
be
it
great.
all, do it all with him.
It's gonna be great. Motherload's the easiest one because it's not. You don't have to slodge to the beach, right? There's a place you can push your stroller. There's a place where the kids
Yeah,
can play miniature golf, and And
Totally.
yeah, I can't emphasize that enough, guys. Mother Lode, Aspen, Colorado. It's where the billionaires kicked out the millionaires. Let's talk a little bit about Manhattan Beach.
Yes, sir.
You're playing with Tyler, right?
My dog. Yes,
Tyler
sir.
is awesome, man. Tyler is we're going to talk about Tyler as we go through this, but walk me through the process of how Manhattan Beach happened. Did it start at Virginia Beach?
It actually started kind of in Denver this year.
No, because you
So
had to draw a spot from somewhere.
yeah, well, yeah. So Tyler and I, first of all, one of my favorite people in the world, one of my best friends. He's a brother. We've done a lot of traveling together. I love the dude. Um, so we decided this year we were going to rock Denver and Wapaka and kind of have a couple back-to-backers and just build our rhythm. Um, Denver, it's kind of tough. We the Basie brothers kind of did some damage on me, beat me pretty good, and then we had a battle with Big Mike and Ryan Smith, who, man, I really thought we should have taken that one. We ended up going like 22-20 in the third and lost. So Denver, we were kind of getting our bearings a little bit, and then the following week was Wapaka, and we just like locked in, had a close battle, ended up popping out a pool, and then winning against some young bucks. And then that took us to a game against Ian Satterfield and Chase
And Chase
Frischman.
Frishman, yeah.
Yeah, who are both just awesome players. So much respect for Frishy. Like, I think one of the best defenders in the game. And we just had an absolute dogfight, just back and forth, some crazy rallies. Like Wapaka, like both of those court areas are different. One of them's like super hard packed and kind of out there. One of them's a little less. And we went off and we played super well. I think we won like 15-12 or 15-13 in the third set. Um, and I didn't realize it at the time, but that was the game that win was the one that put us in position to get the bid to Manhattan Beach.
And you didn't know at the time.
I didn't know it at the time. I just felt like in my bones, like I was even a little emotional. Like I was just like, man, that was just like a good win, and something felt big about it. I didn't know it at the time. I was thinking we needed to win one more to lock it in. But then we get to go play one of my other favorite people, Mr. Wyatt Harrison.
Hold on. I'm going to
Um,
pull this up. Keep talking. I want people to see the brackets. Go
yeah.
ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. So we played Wyatt Harrison. Now he was playing with Charlie Siragusa and another battle. Like they beat us pretty good. We beat them pretty good. And then we're down in the third. This is in the quarterfinals. We're down in the third, like 8-13, and we come back and it's
Wow.
13-14. We serve a ball. One of them hits it out. They run it back that hits it out. It would have been 14-14. And Tyler, the honorable legend, calls the micro touch on his pole.
Duh.
We lost 15-13 to go to the semis in Wapaka. But long story short, that was kind of the road leading up. There it is. Yeah, the road leading up to Manhattan Beach. Yeah, there it is. So Kevin Coyle, TJ, they got us in pool play. Then we beat Colberg Moore, some young guys. Chase and Ian, that was a good win, and then Wyatt and Charlie, so close to go to the semis, which would have been so fun.
That's
Uh,
pretty cool.
yeah, but that was yeah, so that was the road that got us the bid to Manhattan Beach.
You know it's wild. And I was gonna say this for Manhattan Beach, but I guess I could say it now. I think your level up moment this year. This is probably one of your better years in your volleyball career. Yeah, I think one of the things you learn is that championships are not decided by blowouts; they're decided by 2 point victories. Uh, um, and if you look at everybody who's ever won a title, if you go on their BVB page, or if even for indoor people too who follow this, if you go on the sets and take a look at the actual scores on the sets, you're going to see a lot of 21-19s and 22-20s on the beach. You're going to see a lot of 25-23s on the indoor scene. And people don't remember those. But when you think about this, Bryce, like, let's go back to this thing. let's go back to the board for a minute. You lose the chase in Satterfield. That's 15-12, right? Right? If you don't get that, we're having another conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because that I believe that win got you the bid.
Yes, sir.
So it's very, very unique. Sorry. That's what happens when you tech your own show. It's very unique, Bryce, that it's something that I'm not suggesting that you learned, but that you always knew. But now your retrospective action and victory. Um, my question is your retrospective or perspective or action and victory the same as defeat? Like, is it one of those things you're still mindful of after you win?
Yeah, no, 100%. You're so spot on. And there's been so many, I would say there's been so many more L's that have been 21-19 or 2015-13 than dubs. But so I feel like you feel that a little more on that side. But yeah, when you get a win that's close, you definitely don't take it for granted. And one thing I tell one of my other buddies that I play a lot with, Omid Ghazi, I call him the OG, I always say like, hey, when we get these reps together with Tyler, when we get these reps together, like this little play right here is the difference between 1921 and 21-19. Like that one little extra rep or that extra thing you worked on or dialing that extra set or transition play. That's the difference. Because on any given day, it can be 21-19 or 19-21 based on that 1 or 2 points.
Well, the groundedness in these tight game situations when it's 19 up, when tensions are high, when butt cheeks get tight, right? Relying on your training is a real thing because it feels like it's 0-0. You're not really thinking, you're just doing what you're trained to do. But the cool thing
Mhm.
is having foundational training also allows you to do things from that training. Almost like you and I can have see a game that's 20 up, and we will see someone do something that they did not practice. Like they'll come up with some play and they just came up with it athletically, but they came up with it athletically because they had a launching point. You know what I'm saying? Their training allowed them to do that. Like, um, actually, since I'm talking to a real player here, something we call a real one, was there a match where it was tied and you or your partner came up with something where you're like, okay, we didn't practice that, but that worked. You got any recent
Ooh,
memory
that's
of
a
that?
good question. Um, ooh, you know what? I can't think of anything right now, honestly, that we just kind of threw something crazy in the works. But what I can say is that when things are tight, I might even be on the other side. We've been in situations where, oh, it's tight, the wind's going, like we know we need to run the back set here. We're looking to run the option or outside ball. Like, let's try to work that in if we can. Maybe we haven't done it all game, but we know that we can do it if we need to. But I haven't done too much, just like throw something crazy in there that I haven't tried before. I feel like sometimes it doesn't always work out for me, but sometimes you get lucky and something works.
Yeah, well, yeah. Look, if it's match point and you get a serve that hits the tape and it goes over, right? People call that luck, but dude, luck is the residue of design.
Sure.
You have to still serve the ball first of all, right? And the constant training and reps and keeping your promises off the court does give you that extra bounce, right? And maybe
Yeah.
that's what I was talking more in terms of, right? Like you get a ball and you go to for a jump floater and you totally whiff it, and they think it's out, but the line jumps, it goes in, right? And you're like,
Oh,
okay, I didn't.
dude.
You're like,
Yes,
that
sir.
didn't learn that in practice, so that was more
Yes,
in terms of
sir.
what I was talking about. Like, yeah, like you.
That no, that's definitely there. Definitely has happened. I have a memory of Tyler and I were playing in Mexico against Mexico, and he does a top tape trickler to win the first set, just like you said. And it's like you don't really practice that, but if you're going for your serve and you're trying to keep it, low and close to the top of the net, sometimes you're going to get some that work in your favor at the right time.
Yeah.
So for sure, that's a huge advantage if you're repped out and you're kind of confident with what you're doing there.
Let's talk a little bit about process and preparation too. what do you do in your training and what do you do in your practices? And Tyler, I just want to point out, Tyler is such a professional. He came. He was on the podcast a couple of years ago with Jimenez, and just listening the way he talks about his training and talks about whatever. Like he's not just some big guy that can block. He is so. I guess I'll just leave it at professional. Is there some things in your process and preparation that allow you to get through these tight game situations, right?
This is my favorite question. And first of all, shout out to your shirt because that's kind of my mentality. Um, Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I was playing with Wyatt Harrison. He was still playing indoor. We were kind of playing some fun ones, and I decided like, and I remember telling him like, dude, I'm gonna go all in. Like I want to leave it on the table and look back and know that I tried and I gave it my all, and it wasn't like uh, half-assed, you know?
Right.
And at that point, I was all in, dude. My process looked like this. And I actually, you know what? It's funny. I have it written here on my little board of goals, which is like way too big, but it has all the things, and I have it on my whiteboard here too. It has all the things that I want to do. It's lift. So my process was lift with your trainer twice a week, which was huge for me. I'm getting reps 2 or 3 times a week. At one point, I was working with a sports psychologist and mental performance coach, just tuning up that side of the game. So my mentality was like, just like your shirt, like I'm gonna work, I'm gonna put my head down and just do as much as I can. And even at one point, I remember talking to Paul Lotman. He's like, dude, I think he might be overdoing it a little bit. Because I knew like I was never the blue chip player that just innately had the tools to just beat everybody with my physicality. Like I had to do it with my IQ and my work ethic and getting creative and running different sets and running different options and serving tougher. And so that was my process. Like especially linking up, and when I linked up with my buddy Omid, we're like, hey, look, we're gonna lift twice a week with my good buddy Zach Pinolio. Shout out to his outfit down here in San Diego at Flux Performance, and we're gonna train 2 or 3 times a week, and then we're gonna compete on the weekends. And we just had this grind that we were gonna hit, and whether or not it worked out, at least I knew I'm gonna be working harder than 95% of the other guys out there. And that was just kind of my mentality. And I was at peace. I got to a point where I was at peace where if it works out, awesome. But if it doesn't, I knew that I put my best foot forward and really gave it my all.
Do you also think Paul Lotman was on to something where he's like, hey, you're doing great, but at some point just, I'll pump the brakes a little bit?
No doubt. And I was able to find that sweet spot. I remember him like, dude, like, maybe not, maybe you don't have to do double days, maybe you can just really hit that one session super hard or take that extra break so yeah, there's definitely a sweet spot in finding that rhythm where you're pushing, but you're not just zapped and drained and it's not fun, because I'm at the point now where I just want to go out and play with guys that I enjoy with and get the best level I can. But I also want to have fun, because what's the point if you're going out and you're exhausted and miserable and not playing with dudes that you enjoy being around.
Agreed. I think, look, volleyball success is measured by having building an IQ, right? And when you have an IQ, you still have the physicality to do something about it, right? This is why you hear so many people say, if I knew then what I know now, it'd be so good. And they say that because their body's done, right? And this is why Phil at 45 is still doing well. And energy efficiency wise, right? The league is only 2 games a week. He can probably do this until the nurses come wheel him out. So in many instances, I'm glad he didn't retire because, right? Let's say he goes to a tour, right? You only need, if it's 16 teams, you only need to win 3 times to get to the semis, twice on Friday, once on Saturday. He can do that, right? It's not like no one's asking him to go through like a AVP next grind, like like you played with Wyatt. Atlantic City was gnarly.
Ooh, dude, that
was
that
place
still hurt from that one.
By the way, yuck. Yuck. I was there. I was calling court one in 2021, and everyone that came out the next year, like David Lee, who won, his toenail fell off. Everyone that had sand socks, it burned through the socks. Jeff
Yeah,
Samuels literally had to learn how to crawl, walk, and run again. He
that was
stayed.
gnarly.
Yeah,
I played a game in my Converse.
yeah. Good for you, man, because that was unacceptably wild. Yeah, I remember you played John Ferraro and Andrea qualifier second round, and Brian and of course Brett Griner, who's another cool dude. We're just talking about cool dudes all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. By the way, yuck. Just yuck. Jeff was supposed to go to Seaside, but I told him if you go to Seaside, you're not going to play Manhattan Beach because his feet were not healing fast enough. So
Oh,
Jeff stayed at my house and literally crawling up and down the stairs, then walked, and then eventually ran because he was playing with Adam. But you agree with me,
oh.
right? Like Manhattan Beach, you get money. It's not a lot of money, but you get money to show up. You're comped, what? Show money? No, you got to choose one. Choose wisely.
You put him
Yeah.
on that Benjamin Button grind. He was
Yes.
crawling and walking.
It was the curious case of Benjamin Button, right?
That's
Now,
crazy.
for the people listening, the muscles between your ears is always going to take precedence because at some point when you work smarter, it changes your approach to how you train. Not as hard as you train, but how you train. My only regret is I wish I took theater performance before volleyball. Like I was a returning adult student, and I went to I was in the BFA program, the Fine Arts program at Marymount Manhattan in New York,
Oh yeah.
and this is the second ranked program in the country. And like if I use that for volleyball as a coach or a player before that, I'd be so far ahead, and I'll tell you why. And bear with me on this one.
Yeah, yeah.
When you have to do 50 shows, nobody cares if your girlfriend broke up with you. Let's say you had a bad day, or let's say you're not feeling wanted, right?
Mm. Yes,
People
sir.
people pay money to watch you perform. They don't know about your situation before they hit the stage, and quite frankly, they don't care. And it's a very, very cold thing to say, and we live in a cold world, especially in New York City. But it really trained my mind to say, hey, don't be out there worrying about trying to be great. Do your job, and the end result is going to be greatness. Like if as an actor, and this applies to volleyball, this is why I'm talking all this nonsense.
Yeah.
On stage, if you go up there with the intention to get the audience to like you or be great, what happens is you're not going to be great because achieving greatness is the expectation and the goal is the work. Like
Hmm.
you want to be good. Like you ended up, um, let's just say the 15-13 game, right? Like you're not in there trying to show the people that you're a worthy person or you don't have time for the validation game. You only have time to put in the work. And if you put in the work the right way, the net result happens. And that's going to help you. And I will land by saying this quote: greatness happens when man fails in his pursuit of perfection.
Mm.
Do you know why? Because you're not going to be perfect, but if you pursue it, you're going to fail and you're going to wind up great. What's wrong with just being great? And also
I like it.
pursuing perfection worries about what you think, and achieving greatness is about what everybody else thinks. Do you see the divide?
Mm. Hmm.
Goal, obstacle, tactics, expectation. Goat.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yep.
That's so cool. No, you nailed it, man. And I love that you did theater. Little known fact, I did a little theater in my day too. But that's a fun world and mad respect for you because God, I don't know how you remember all those dang lines. Sheesh.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother mental exercise right there. Were you doing musical theater or yeah,
I was
whew.
doing straight plays though.
Okay.
I did sing choir for 6 years, and the musical theater people are the ones I like hung out with the most because
Yeah.
the guys in the
Fun
BFA
people.
program, they were very, I don't know, at the end of the day, I'm still a city kid. I'm not, there's a certain type of class structure that was part of this. And Marymount, don't fool yourself. It's supposed to be the School of the Liberal Arts, but it wasn't. It was a closet conservatory. And at the time, them and Juilliard for a 10-year period were ranked 1 and 2. So there
Wow.
was a lot of politics, but I was mostly a straight play guy. I
I
did
understand.
I did F&A by Susan Laurie Parks, the Public Theater. She won Pulitzer for Best Drama. I did The Last Bridge by Wendy Castleman. I did like shows for 5 years, and I really put volleyball on the shelf. I had because to do that
Oh yeah.
and work full time at the
That's
time. I had a full time job. The only time I played volleyball was grass in the summer. I would play, Connecticut. I played the Pottstown Rumble. I played that twice. I took fifth twice.
heck yeah.
For double A and open. I played double A and open. I took fifth for both of those. And
That's so cool. Yeah, that's a G
yeah,
grind in itself, man, but so cool. You've had so many cool experiences,
yeah.
you got the East Coast, West Coast, theater, volleyball, coaching, commentating.
Did I mention that I'm black?
You better.
Let's talk a little bit about Manhattan Beach because that's where we were headed. But we're just at the same time. I'm having too much fun. I'm trying to remember. I got some bullets here. Um, Manhattan Beach. Ooh, wrong one. That was Michael Boag. I'm just scrolling to
Yeah, we
2000.
had some highs and some lows at Manhattan this year, man. We had some highs and lows, but it was so cool.
Look, Brewster and Ierna, we're just gonna call that a scratch
Yeah,
because
I forgot about that one already.
sometimes as a coach, right, you have to go to your players and you have to like break out this piece of paper or whatever.
There
Like
was there was a lot
you're
going
like, look,
on
this is.
on that morning.
It's like, look, let's say you lose by a lot. You go to your team and you're like, this was the last match. Just,
Yep.
just
I just
yeah.
blanked that first set.
Where's the garbage, right? Yeah. So look, they had Jesus behind them too. So I mean, sometimes you're like, okay, His will, His way. That's what happened there.
Yeah, they smoked us the first set. Had a little more mojo the second, but yeah, we had a lot going on that morning, thinking about I mean, and I know we can get into this more, but um it's funny because the due date of my son was August 15th, which was actually the same day as the Manhattan Beach Open. So literally leading up to the event until literally that morning, until 2 minutes before we started the first set, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to play or not.
Wow.
It was
Dude, how does
crazy.
Tyler do that? He has Carlos Jimenez on speed dial.
It
What's
was
up?
honestly like it was crazy because going into the year I was like we found out our due date and we're like all right like probably not going to be able to do Manhattan. Maybe I talked to one of my buddies. I was like, hey, we can be a last minute if we can. If not, all good. But then we got the bid and we're like, all right, how do we make this happen? So literally, Tyler and he was super cool about it. He's on the same page. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go in with the intention of playing this. Maybe the baby will come early or maybe he'll come late. But we're literally gonna kind of have to just check in the week of and the couple nights before and the day of and make a decision. And luckily our guy decided to wait a couple days and be a little late and let daddy play in the Manhattan Beach Open.
That had to be the best weekend of your life. This is your first main draw that you don't have to qualify for, right? You get paid to show, and then your kid's born.
Yes. Yeah, the
Bryce.
first
We-
the first like heritage event for me, which had always been like a big goal of mine. Yeah, that we didn't have to qualify is so cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, I gotta run that. And then a couple days later had the baby boy, which was another huge highlight of my life. And it's almost like in my opinion, like a little fairy tale week for me. And it was really cool how it all shook out.
Let me ask you a professional, personal question. And I talked to Travis Muir about this. Was there a little bit of imposter syndrome, players tent, with everybody who's, they're in the main draw. It's a normal day. Like you have the reigning defending champs, you have semifinalists, you have people that are there every week. And And I'm not saying they're like this one big happy family and everybody else is an imposter, because at the end of the day, I'm just gonna let everybody know the big secret. These people don't talk to each other either. They really don't. You know?
Yeah,
like
that's a good
like
question.
Try and Jake didn't even talk to each other until Jake called them for the Olympics. I mean, this
Yeah,
so yeah, I just want to let people know what's up. Yeah, but
that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, everyone kind of has their little squad they kick it with. I'll be honest, like that day, I mean, I've been, I don't know. I kind of got to the point in a couple of years where I kind of stopped caring as much about like what people think and that thing. So I was that day, and I'd been around, some of these guys and played against them, whether it's, whatever, CBVAs or AVPs. And um, I was honestly just locked in. It was like me and Tyler and my buddy Kyle Merchant coached us that day, and I didn't even really think about that too much, but I definitely could see that being a thing for someone who's maybe new, or if it was like their first time ever being like in the main draw. I'd been in a couple of the contender main draws and made some AVP necks in the past, so I was feeling pretty good. But I will say after that first set, your boy definitely wanted to get a W, or after that first match.
yes.
So Tyler and I were just kind of locked in and we had played those guys in Denver, so we're like, all right, we know what we need to do. Let's get it done.
That's cool. Yeah, and the other reason why I asked that is because Travis, when he made his first main draw, and I think it was probably with Hagen or could have been with Hagen, could have been Hermosa Beach.
Hmm.
He felt like an imposter, and and Travis has been at it for a while. He's one of the best writers in the sport. No,
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
take that
yeah.
back. He's the best writer in the sport.
He's
Same
great. I
sense. He
love
was
his
also
stuff.
involved. He was involved in media a lot, and he was road dogging it a little bit, like Zahn was. So you knew him well enough. And to me, like if he felt like that way, I was just curious how you felt. I asked Jake Aratia, Earl Schultz, their first main draw in 2019, like. It's just kind of do I get to talk to anyone, or do these people want to
Yeah,
be left alone, right? You feel kind of kiddish about that, right?
for sure.
I was also asked that too because I coached 4 teams into the main draw, and I'm very much like you. When you're older, you just you're like, okay, you do this one thing better than everybody else, but you're a
Yeah,
person, I'm a person. What's the problem?
for sure.
Bertolt Brecht says man equals man.
Yeah.
The second reason is to I when you coach someone into the main draw, what are they going to say? Are they going to say that you only got the job because you have a friend that's in the draw? No.
Right.
You're going to see. Are they going to say because you work for John Mayer, you got to sit under his umbrella and coach with him? No. No, these are instances where you punched your own ticket. So they've, and if they want to talk to you, they want to talk to you, and if they don't, they don't, right? And Earl and Jake, that was their first main draw. I was their coach. Uh, um, Rafa Rodriguez, Kevin McCulloch.
Ah,
We agreed to
Rafu,
coach each
man.
other.
God.
So Manhattan Beach, they agreed. Kevin agreed to coach me, and I agreed to coach them. And I was the most experienced coach on the sand in volleyball, but in the sand, I was a puppy. I was a wide-eyed puppy where I'm like, man, I'm just gonna sit here and act like a glorified babysitter. And I learned so much from Rafu and Kevin. God bless those
Oh,
two.
dude, I
You
love
know?
Rafu's game,
Yeah.
man. That was one of the guys where I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
you don't have to jump 45 inches to be able to do it, man. Like,
Yeah.
he is just so smooth and fun to watch. I loved
Yeah.
watching him.
But thanks to him, that Rafu kind of gave me an in because, like everybody's like, who's that guy with the Yankee hat? And he's like, he's new to the beach, but he knows how to win. That's what they kept saying. They
Heck
kept
yeah.
telling everybody. And they qualified to the draw, won 5 straight contenders bracket matches, lost to Todd and Stafford. That
Oh,
was Todd's retirement tournament.
oh
So,
yeah.
a monument for everybody. It was my first and only main draw. Qualifier I played with Tyler Lucas.
Nice.
Um, yeah, it was just great. And Rafa's got some of the best hands in the business, like the
Oh,
fluidity,
he's
right?
the
Like
man.
shouldn't he be teaching people hands?
He's the
Shouldn't
man,
Skylar
dude.
Del Sol be teaching? I bet you Skylar Del Sol is the one that like pioneered the cupcakes as far as hand setting is concerned.
Oh yeah. Great setters. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rafu's awesome. He's such a good dude too.
But
Um,
that's yeah, but that's kind of been my jam.
yeah,
Just doing more with less. In fact, this year, Natalie Miskowski and Kelly Bellardi, qualifier, main draw. We won the first 2 matches. We were winners bracket. We beat Hildreth and Kolinsky. Then we beat Madison, Anderson, and Bauer. And so that's pretty much Saturday afternoon. Ran into a brick wall named Kelly Chang. So, not bad for a team that a lot of people know. You and me know because that's our sphere. But
Yeah,
so
and it's always, man, it's just
yeah,
always so nice to get a dub in the main draw.
yeah.
Like, you know.
And you beat Grossell, right? It was Grossell and Ryan Smith.
Yeah, it was a little rematch from Denver. So
How about that?
yeah, we knew what we needed to do.
Let's go back to this. Where is it? Let's zoom in on that. Go ahead.
It was so fun, man. Like we had a bunch of my homies came up and family came up from San Diego and the Southern California. And it was cool to be on that court too. And it really felt like the real deal of that match. Everyone was there. The first one was kind of out in the boonies and it was early as whatever, but that one was like that one felt good and it was tight. Tyler came back with some serves in that first set. We locked in and then we really I think we were down actually like 18-15 or something in the first, and we went on a run to pull ahead and win it. And then we pushed the throttle on game 2 and just turned it up. And it felt good to get a W, especially after the morning game where we kind of got smoked. But it felt real. It felt good and it felt nice. And I could hear my friends and family and I could feel some people that I coach and just to be in there with my dog Tyler and my buddy Kyle coaching us was something I'll never forget. That was a fun one for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about Tyler. I started talking about him in regards to just being a consummate professional. How much truth to my assertion was there? The way he carries himself, he looks like a guy who runs a tight ship. Strict, but not too strict where he's not like unhappy. He seems like he finds this healthy balance. He keeps the mood right, but at the same time, talk to me about Tyler.
He's 100% a professional, like with work, with volleyball. When we're organizing trips and stuff, great communication. Like that's what I love about the dude. But at the same time, he can go out and rock the Hawaiian t-shirt with me, and rock the stache, rock the flow. He's able to, it's just fun. We have fun when we travel together. And it's like, that's part of the deal is we're able to just not only, we're both in the point where it's like, yeah, we want to win and that's the goal, but we also want to have a good trip and be able to go connect and enjoy each other and enjoy our community. So definitely a professional, locked in terms of training, in terms of planning, in terms of communicating, but also able to just have fun and be the man.
I
He's got the best of both.
Yeah, I didn't know he's a New York guy. I didn't know he was a Buffalo guy.
Dude, Buffalo, he's a big Bills guy.
Me too, dude.
He's
I
huge Bills.
am.
And he's probably one of the reasons why I draft Josh Allen every year on my fantasy team. There
Yep.
you go.
Yeah, this is me, man. This is yeah.
Yeah. So he was actually at that game earlier this year that they came back. That crazy game. I can't remember. Were they playing Baltimore or who were they playing that was like a crazy comeback in the last
Oh, it was
fourth?
Baltimore. It's like 9 minutes left. They're down by 15 points. And
Yeah.
we lost a disappointing one of the Patriots last week. And for me, like, I tell my friends, I take the good with the bad. Because the Ravens game we probably should have lost. And this is the game we should have won. And, like, karma balances that out. Actually, I got some video on Tyler. This is the first day I met him.
Let's see it.
So,
Okay. Scoopage. Back sauce. Ooh. Get him, Kyle.
oh man, sorry, it's a little choppy, but it'll clear up on
That's
its
right.
own. It'll clear up by itself.
Oh, this is a good rally. Samuels Vaughn. Okay.
Yeah, Samuels Vaughn. This is a Manhattan Beach, and that's
Good rally.
rare because Jeff doesn't. You don't really see Jeff option. So this was my coaching mistake. We're 14-12, right? Let's go ahead for a minute. I think they get the side out. So there's Tyler on the J hook pass. Jeff hits the net. Now, for me, I got a timeout, right? And we really should use it. And I don't know if you see them look my way. And I'm just like, if we have it, use it, right? Let's not get them have them get another point and cause all this freaking drama. And Chris Vaughn absolutely refused to run a back set, and we needed that because Tyler, who's blocking, wow, what a dig!
Scoop, bump sauce.
And now we got some drama.
14s.
And we still didn't call timeout.
Oh man, I'm kind of excited to see what happens here. I don't know if I've seen the ending of this one. Scoopage, bumpage. Chris has got another shot. Oh my gosh, this is getting juicier.
This is
Look at the timeout.
yeah. Wow. And I'm like, wow, what are we going to talk about here? Game of Thrones, Avengers Endgame? Because we ain't talking about volleyball right now. So actually, let's just finish the whole thing. I'll pump through the timeout. But this is the first day I've ever met Tyler. I didn't have a scouting report on him. I didn't really know anything about actually neither of them. And I spent so much time preparing for Case Beer and Allen because that was our first match. We didn't really know who we were playing. And nice. 15-15 switch. Game of inches, my friend. If that goes out, maybe that's a whole nother story, right? So the winner of this plays Weber and John Hayden.
Ooh.
So
forgot they played together.
Yeah, they were really good. Actually, they made it pretty far. Oh, Jesus. Look at you. You're feeling it right now. And you're just...
baby, I love it. This is what you live for right here.
But this is a great game. This is all of our peers, basically, right? Jeff, like Tyler's your partner. Jeff is my brother from another mother.
Heck yeah. Chris Vaughn's the man, dude.
Yes.
Him and John Ferrari played a bunch together. They've qualified together.
Standout at Stevens Tech. How about that, right? Do we remember that? Like 2014, I think. He's a big-time player for Patrick at Stevens. I think this is match point. Sorry, let's just run through it. What the hell? It's a podcast.
We're here. Why not?
Yeah, it's about volleyball,
let's see
dude.
what happens here. Tyler, back to serve. Got the rock. No flow, though. No luscious locks right now. But let's see if it's aerodynamic enough.
They go to him. Oh, look at the stunt double dive. Is he going to trans off this? You got to be kidding.
What a play. Wow.
And that's it. And that's the end of the match. And there's their coach saying, hey, I told you so. I'm in the white. I don't even want to carry the clipboard anymore. I just want to throw it. Yeah, so pretty cool match. Oh, sorry.
That's awesome.
Let's go back to this. And I can
stop. So you were coaching Chris and Jeff on that one?
Yeah. Well, I was Jeff's coach for 4 of the stops and whoever he played with. And Chris liked me. We liked each other right away. And the only thing he had to say was look, there's some things I over-explained and during the practice, and he's like, look, I got it. And we all started laughing because I was talking to them like they were idiots. like my bad. So it comes from all this coaching juniors stuff, but I was just there to do a pull
There's
check.
actually a photo of Chris Vaughn and John Ferrari together, and they have the stash. They look the exact same.
They look like identical twins.
Yeah, and I think we're in San Antonio or something, and his dad posted it. And John's grandma, they look so much alike. John's grandma thought that Chris was John. It was hilarious. It was so funny. So they always when they team up, they rock the stash too. And they have some similarities there on their look.
I can see that. In
Oh yeah.
fact, John helped us do a scouting report on Case Beer and Allen. Like I was doing a pull chart. A pull chart is when you draw lines, like directional integrity. So straight
Mm.
lines are hard driven, like curves are like shots. So
Okay.
certain players have a mathematical pattern, right? And I had my juniors team. My juniors team was like, oh, Case Beer goes cross 3 times in line the 4th time. And I'm like, you're 13. This isn't math. This is volleyball. Thank you, but no thank you. And then I started watching video and I started doing a pull chart. Cross, 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 line, cross. 3 consecutive times of sets of 4. Cross, 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 line, cross, 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 line, cross, 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 line. And then I called my 13s up and I gave them the video. I was like, do the pull chart on this. And then John called us and said he goes cross 75% of the time. And I was like, that's you are literally and mathematically correct.
You
And
had the
because
work.
if you saw the pull chart on Billy Allen, it was like it was this. It was all over the place. It was like
Elaborate.
it's like you're in the head of someone that requires someone that needs lab coats. Nice young men dressed in white suits come to
He's
take them
got it
away.
all.
So
That's funny.
yeah, and we played them tough. It was 24-22 first set. I was about. I mean, and Chris balled out.
That's
Chris.
so fun.
Yeah, man. Let's have a little fun. What's one of your favorite movies, like sports movies, that gets you hyped, or that makes
Mm.
you feel good about yourself or good about just sports? For example, I go Remember the Titans.
Mm.
That's not my favorite, but that's the first one that came to my head.
Yeah.
And first integrated school, just coming together and play as a team or lose as individuals. It's pretty cool. I really like that.
It's a good question. The first thing that comes to mind is kind of silly, but it's the one that when I was a kid I would watch on repeat, and it was Rookie of the Year. I don't know if you
Yes.
remember that one.
Pitcher's
Yeah.
got a big butt. Pitcher's got a big butt.
Dude, it's so funny, but I would watch that on repeat. But that one, I don't know, that always has good feels for me when I think about it. He breaks his arm and then he makes it into the big leagues as like a kid or something.
Yep, that was great. I
Um,
I watched that. I came out of yeah. That was Danny Glover was the coach, right, or something like that.
yeah,
Like the baseball man.
exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty cool movie. I liked Any Given Sunday because it showed the dark side of it. That like it was it's more than just sports from a coaching perspective and from a player's perspective, right? Although Jamie
Hmm.
Foxx as an actor, I look at individual performances. So I watch a lot of crappy movies because I want to see who's like miscast and who's like doing real work. And like
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx never cheats you.
No.
Brad Pitt never cheats you. He's been in a lot of bad movies, but he never cheats you. Matt Damon, all right, like Denzel Washington. These guys don't cheat you
Mm.
or like
Yeah,
shortchange you. Sorry.
no doubt. What do you know about Little Giants?
God, there you go again. These are cool movies, dude. Little Giants.
Remember, yeah, that one was funny. The little man. I don't know. So those are maybe some kid movies. In terms of today's era, I think I'm kind of more on like the documentary grind, like the one on Michael. What was the one on Michael Jordan?
Oh yeah.
Um,
I forgot what it was called, but I really like that. And that saved us from COVID, man. That was like a 6-part
yeah,
series, and that's something you can watch 3 times. Like it was one episode a week, but you're like I could watch one episode twice. Dude, it was great. It was on ESPN, and I know what you're
yeah. It
talking
was. I
about.
mean, look, it was The Last Dance, is what it
The Last
was.
Dance, yeah,
Things like that are cool. I love those kind of longer
yeah.
documentaries.
I liked Winning Time, the Lakers thing on HBO.
Oh, I love that one too. That
Yeah.
was good.
If you want to go old school though, I'll go Pride of the Yankees.
Oh, I don't know that
It's the
one.
Lou Gehrig story.
Okay.
Gary Cooper played Lou Gehrig, and you really got to see who he was. This immigrant family didn't like to spend money, so they lived in this inexpensive house in this like kind of like working class or poor neighborhood, and and he used to commute from Brooklyn to the Bronx, like via police escort. And then the police are like, dude, for the money you're paying us to do this, you might as well just live on Park Avenue, right? It's closer to the stadium. But
That's
Gary Cooper,
crazy.
Babe Ruth actually played Babe Ruth, played himself.
No way.
Um, And it was about, and it's a tearjerker because he winds up with a disease, and he has that speech before he, like, everyone feels sorry for me, but he said, I just want to let you know I'm the luckiest man on the face of the earth. And when he says that, the way he says it, I just start crying every time. And it's a black and white film, dude. It's literally,
You
it's
are a crier.
yeah. I cry at sports movies. I cry, $1 Million Baby. When $1 Million Baby, I cried. At
Oh
the end.
yeah.
Of Hillary Swank, right? I guess I like Major League because Major League inspired me to do color commentary and play-by-play. Bob Euchre, like, here's the first
Nice.
pitch, whoosh, just a bit
Oh, geez.
outside.
It's a bit outside. I say that when someone hits a ball out.
Yeah, I remember
When I
Pedro
hit a
Serrano.
high line.
Remember Pedro Serrano hit a bird, and they're like, "Oh, he says, oh, looks like the guy's out." He said, and his guy was like, "But at least the bird lived." And he's like, "Who cares? It's a rat with wings." It's just like,
Oh, that's good. Oh
what
man.
what was the last good book you read?
Oh, I read a a book called Dude, You're Going to Be a Dad. So that was
Was
one.
it written by Bryce Mayer?
No, but my buddy got it for me. But here's another one that I read. My brother or my one of my good friends turned me on to it. It's called The 13 and a Half Lives of Captain Blue Bear. Have you heard of it?
No, tell me.
It's a thick book, so it took me about 14 months to get through because I read about 3 pages a month. But it was just like a funny fiction about this blue bear that has different adventures, and it's kind of like this fantasy where one chapter he's on this miniature ship with pirates and cruising around the ocean, and then one chapter he's like walking through the brain of this giant. It's just a weird, funny adventure fiction book. But that was the last one that's memorable, at least. But I wish I read more.
Yeah, I don't like to read. I'm just to be honest, but I do have a distinct memory on a lot of the books I read. I was talking about Unbroken with my last guest, about Lou Zamperini, the track star pre World War II that wound up serving in the army,
Ooh.
and his plane crashed in the middle of the Pacific, and he survived in the Pacific for like 2 or 3 months, and then wound up on land. But unfortunately, the land was in Japan, so he was a prisoner of war for another year and a half, 2 years. And this story of this guy that he was, it was like the Rocky of track and field. You couldn't break this guy. You couldn't finish him. You couldn't kill him. He just had a body and a mindset that didn't quit. And he ran all the way till he was 90 years old. And I think he passed away
Oh
recently.
wow.
But California guy, he ran at USC. He was, I think, one of the first people to run like a 4.5 minute, a 4 minute mile or something like that. Lou Zamperini. It was called Unbroken. And they and
Okay.
they also made a movie of it too. Like, if you guys are too lazy and don't like to read, and reading isn't fundamental to you, the movie is actually pretty good too. But the book is always better than the movie.
I'll
I,
check it out.
yeah,
A lot of the books I've read were like mindset books and business
mhm,
books, and I this was that Blue Bear was the first one that I was like, you know what, I want to mix it up and do something different.
yep.
But usually they're a little more serious when I'm reading them, a little drier.
Yep. But I got a one-stop shop for everything. Like, that's a novel, right? That's drama. If you're looking for a good how-to book, Doctor, What Should I Eat? It's written in 1995 by a guy
Ooh,
named Dr. Isidore Rosenfeld, who I worked for 17 years. It's a bestseller,
ooh.
and it was a book that prescribes foods for your ailments instead of medications. Right? Do you want to take iron tablets, or do you want steak or cold spinach? Do you want to take fat burners as a supplement, or do you use avocado? Do you use eggs or cashews? So I was
That's cool.
265 pounds when I read that, and I lost 60 pounds in a year. I took a year and I lost
Wow.
60
That's
pounds.
amazing.
I was 265. I got as low as 186, and I rounded off to net weight of like 205. Yeah.
Dude, good for you. That's
Yeah.
hard to do, man.
Yeah. It was 265 pounds, dude. That's a Backstreet Boy. That was, um, yeah. Wendy Jones wrote a book called 365 Days of Optimism. And since I'm a hater from New York, I need people in books like that in my life. In fact, I'll go on the camera and I'll show you what it looks like. I'll zoom in on it. It's
Oh,
right there.
nice.
365 Days of Optimism. That's Wendy Jones. In the
Wendy
middle, that's
Jones.
that's yeah, Wendy Jones. She's a power mom. She was
Okay.
Luke Turner's mom, who played at Stanford. and
Okay.
her daughter played for Hector at TCU, so she's one of these volleyball moms. That's Hate Inc. Hate Inc. is written by Matt Taibbi, and Hate Inc. is preaches to us about how up and down politics weaponizes the left and right to get us to hate each other. And that's an important read for me because everybody knows that everyone knows in their heart of hearts it's up versus down and not left versus right, but we get caught up in it and start unfriending each other and getting the fistfights over left and right politics while this small class of people are just laughing, and I'm like, guys, the wealthy has no issue with solidarity. Okay. Elon and Zuckerberg are going to pretend to hate each other, but if they have to do business with each other, they're not going to say, I'm not going to do business with you. It's just stop. There is solidarity in that class of people, right? Like, listen, no matter what law passes, it's not for them, right? If they let's say they make abortion illegal. If one of them wants an abortion, will they get one? Yes. Right? Let's say that they restrict guns and they take people's guns away. If they want a gun, will they get one? Yes. Do you understand? I mean, have we learned nothing from like
rules that they're playing by?
Yeah, but have we learned nothing from 2020 to the present? So it's a very good book. It's called Hate Inc. And you saw the two people, it was Rachel Maddow. The pictures of Rachel Maddow and Sean Hannity. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna take note. Hate Inc. And the other one was what was the other one?
365 Days of Optimism.
Nice.
Yeah. And also Aaron Wexler wrote a book. It's only 60 pages. It's you can probably read it in like 20 minutes. It's called The Inspired Athlete. I read it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Aaron Wexler came on the podcast to promote it. I don't know if I'm giving away the story early, but he's got a very, very powerful guest coming on who I'm so jealous. He's got Terrence Howard coming on his podcast. And that's kind of like up my alley, right? But Aaron Wexler is such an inspiration in my life. I'm not jealous. I felt like it's the best thing that happened to us.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the way, hey,
and
that's be, man.
Yeah, that's the kind of people I need to be around, Bryce. I spent so much of my life getting to where I gotta go. I gotta remember when I get there, I can stop being upset now.
Sure.
I'm the kind of guy that if I finally get the mansion I want, then I pick up a brick and throw it through my own window.
Yeah, man, life's too short, and I love to see. I know I always see you. I know you say you're kind of a hater at heart, but I do see the love you throw people and the comments that you put on people's posts and stuff. And I think that really goes a long way, especially in our sport where, we're kind of doing it just for like the love of the game, and it's nice when people show you some love and you get a little rec for the work you put in. So I tip my hat to you for spreading some love to this community for sure.
My man. What's your favorite sport outside of volleyball to play or spectate?
Lately I've really been into baseball. I've been following the Padres quite a bit. I love watching baseball. I know it can be a little bit boring, but I don't know. It's just San Diego, that's kind of all we have right now. So it's kind of the hometown sport. And then here's a crazy one that I love to play. It's definitely out there. I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of broom ball?
I've seen it.
So every year for my
in
birthday,
San Diego,
in
in fact.
For 10 years, we'd rent out an ice skate rink, and all my buddies would come and we'd play broom ball, which is basically a mix of like field hockey and soccer on ice. And it's the most fun thing you'll ever do. And I will say that is my favorite sport outside of volleyball.
Yeah. Mine is I really love football because any sport where you have a clock ticking down to 3 zeros and a score is close, you're at the edge of your seat. It's like watching a movie in real time, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you will not leave. You'll stay there to the end. And that's like basketball, football, any sport that has like something
Hockey.
that goes down. Yeah, that's like lightning in a bottle, for Christ's sakes.
I think that's one of the best live events right there. It's
I'm
so
a Penguins fan because my wife grew up watching the Penguins. So
okay.
so she's from West Virginia, so that was their team.
Nice.
And I like mixed martial arts. I follow the UFC, Bellator. I follow all of them. ONE FC very avidly. I'm a big fan of Demetrius Johnson. Some of the lighter weight classes, and watching people do things that you and me can't do rehearsed. Like a few years ago, I saw Demetrius Johnson get someone do a judo flip, and while he was in the air, locked in armbar. So by the time the both of them landed, the guy was in an armbar. So usually you land first and then you go for the move, but he threw him in the air. And when the guy was in the air, locked in the armbar. So by the time they landed, he had to tap. And I'm like, this
Dude,
happened this didn't happen in practice. This didn't happen sparring. This didn't happen in practice. This didn't happen with two stuntmen doing a cooperative choreography thing. This happened in a match. How do I want to win like this? What? Wow.
Those guys are built different, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'm too soft.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
My man.
I love it.
Nice.
How about you?
Oh, Lord of the Rings all day. I like it. Yeah, Kyle Friend said Harry Potter too, but like if Kyle Friend said I have a confession to make, it's just like, no,
dude, Harry Potter just
didn't
takes
know
me back.
that. Didn't know that. Come on, man. I'm from New York. I feel like Grace Jones. You ever see the movie Boomerang, where
No.
Grace Jones is talking to Eddie Murphy, right? And Eddie Murphy's talking about business, and she's just looking at him and says, "So when do we get to like F?" And he's like, "What were you talking about?" She says, "What's the matter?" He says, "Are you gay?" And he's like, "Yeah, yes, I am." And he's like, she says, "You are not gay." She says, "I know a gay man when I see one. That man over there, he's gay." And they're in a restaurant. It was, "Oh, that man over there, he's gay." I was just like, you got to check it out.
Man.
It's hilarious.
I have not seen that one.
Grace Jones is like that. She's really dark skinned, exotic looking, formal model, just really, really cool. Man, I kept you for a long time.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you reaching out and getting me on here. I know when you first reached out right after Manhattan, I was in dad mode for that first couple of weeks, but I appreciate you letting me kind of just chat and share my story a little bit.
Sorry, I'm glad you got a chance. I'm glad you allowed me to indulge, because one of my weaknesses as a podcast, sometimes I talk more than my guests, but it comes from the right place. I'm just excited to have someone new to talk to, and and I'm really looking forward to what's coming up next. And I want you to plug in your club, like the website and this and that. I did a little bit of research, and I understand you guys are doing fantastic things out there. So go ahead and do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And
what's the club?
yeah,
again?
let's rock, man. I'll see you in Motherlode.
No, what's the website for the club?
The best one for the beach club is probably just our Instagram, which is just at coast_beach.
Mm-hmm.
And then the indoor program, they've got the coastvbc.com, but our Instagram is kind of where we put most of our stuff for the beach side of things.
Right.
So at coast_beach.
My man. Cool, man. Well, Bryce might love you guys, but I don't like any of you guys. In fact, I can't stand any of you guys. In fact, I'm out of here, all right? So for all of you at home, for all of you on your iPhones or your Droids, if that still exists, for all of you on your desktop, who runs the world? Old school. And this man, soon to be old school. This is Bryce Mayer, the younger, better looking mayor. I'm Jason DeBiz. This is the Option Podcast. Stay with me. I'm going to hit my music. But for now, for the audience, we are out of here. Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify, and on YouTube under the NYVarsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.